Welcome to Woodshop 101, a woodworking audio podcast geared toward the hobby weekend woodworker. Your hosts for the show are Jeremy Crawford and Drew Shore. Join these two different craftsmen for a lighthearted banter about everything woodworking, online education, and how they produce content. Topics could include the latest news, tips, tricks, and designs, to include furniture, crafts, and shop projects. Welcome to episode 30. Today, we're going to talk about epoxy and traditional woodworking. We are joined by our guest host, Peter Brown from Shop Time. What's going on, Peter?
Hey. Happy to be here. Glad we finally got together.
Yeah, we're happy that you finally decided that we're cool enough to hang out with you.
or worth it, one or the other.
So, all right, well, let's talk shop a little bit. What's going on in you guys' shop? Drew, you got anything interesting going on?
Well, considering that you give me a rough time every time that I tell you that I'm still working on my mudroom locker system trying to get it finished, not much is going on here. I
won't say anything to you if you don't say anything about mine. How about that?
That's a deal. No, I'm right now. I'm in the process of painting all the pieces up. I've got the carcasses already put together and everything, and painted up. I've got the doors, drawer fronts, all that painted and ready to go. So now it's just a matter of making the mortises for the hinges and installing all of the pieces together. I've got a little bit of painting to do tonight because some of the shelving pieces need to be sanded. They're pretty rough. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that next video you said is going to be primarily focused on how you paint or how you spray paint?
Yeah.
Okay, is that latex or enamel?
Yes, it's water-based latex enamel.
Okay. And
oddly enough, the spray gun that I have been using for years has finally give up the ghost. its magic smoke went away. So I am in the process now of recouping another HVLP sprayer, which I did find from Rockler. So
I'm pretty sure you have. Pretty sure you have an HVLP out there.
I got another one, and it's a more higher-end one, but I'm not going to run paint through it. I don't really want to do that.
Why? Just buy a separate gun and a bigger needle.
And then you got all the answers, don't you?
Hey, I'm just saying.
I don't know how much the gun is for that Fuji sprayer, though.
Let's just put it this way. My Fuji sprayer, my Q5 that I have, or the Q4, I don't remember, one of them, it's still in the box. I ain't even taken it out, and I've had it.
You can ship it to me.
I've had it almost a year. No, because I've really been.
One in the box you can have.
Yeah, I mean, I can send you the empty box.
The instruction manual is probably what I'll get.
No, because I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that definitely. All right, Peter, what do you have going on in your shop?
Well, I almost always have epoxy somewhere in the shop. I just finished up with a video where I made coasters with bubble wrap in them. So project is still kind of lingering. But I'm planning on building an actual wooden coffee table here on my next for my next video. So
what? You're working with wood?
I know, it's weird. It's really strange stuff. So it's not real sticky.
No.
And
different medium.
You don't have to wait for it to finish hardening. It comes pre-hardened. So yeah, I'm real excited.
Hang on. Your wood comes pre-hardened?
Yeah.
I got to harden mine.
Well, take that where you want.
Okay. So yes, I get mine from a man at the lumber store.
Boy,
I always get the hardwood. I don't like softwood for woodworking. So anyway, I'm going to try to do something interesting with the base. Try to see if I can do some reclaimed something for the base. But yeah, if with any luck, I'll actually have a real woodworking project coming up next. So hopefully my viewers will be okay with that.
Ooh, that'll make Paul very happy.
Yeah. All right. Well, Drew, believe it or not, I'm working on the sofa table. It has not come a whole lot since last week. Okay, it actually has. The top has actually been completely cut down to size. It's been shaped, and I've actually started the sanding process. I got 2 more grits to go, and I don't know if I'll get back out in the shop tonight to do it, just because I'm have a little excess redness on my skin right now. And we'll talk about that in a second.
Whole nother story.
Yeah. But I would anticipate by tomorrow, and I'm going to stain it. I'm going to put a gel stain on it. And I anticipate by tomorrow night that gel stain will be on. So
you like using that gel stain?
I've only used it one, maybe two other times, and it's different. I don't know. The product was sent to me by General Finishes, and so instead of trying to buy new stuff, I might as well use what they sent me. So I don't know. The first time, in fact, I think I've used it twice. The first time I used it, I did not like how it came out. I let it dry overnight, probably almost 24 hours. And then when I applied the finish on it, and I do a wipe on, just like a wipe on varnish, and it removed the gel stain where like I had touched it with the gloves. And so when it was finished, you could clearly see fingerprints or the outlines of fingers in the finish. And I contacted General Finishes, and they never really heard of that or why it would have happened. And so I didn't care for it then. Second time I used it on a smaller project. I can't even remember. But I remember using it on a smaller project, and it worked out a little better. So I'm hoping that this one works out, because I will tell you what, I've already applied 3 different finishes on the base, and I'm leaving it where it's at. If the top ends up not what I'm doing, the whole thing's going in the garbage, because I'm not going to keep strip and finish and playing in the new finish on it.
What's the top? What species?
It's just poplar.
Okay.
So that's why I'm going with that gel stain, so it doesn't blotch near as much. So it doesn't
blotch. Yeah, and I've used it on oak before, and it turned out really well.
So, well, that's what I used it on, was oak, with that when I had the fingerprints. I don't know. Maybe I didn't let it dry long enough. So this time I'm going to let it set for a good 24 to 48 hours.
What kind of gloves are you using?
I don't know. Blue?
Black ones?
Yeah, blue. Yeah, black ones.
Blue?
It's like, what kind of computer do you have? A white one?
On silver.
No, I mean, are they latex, or are they non-latex?
I don't know. They're blue.
Okay, well, you've done your research.
I'm going to say they're not latex. What's the next one?
Nitrate?
Yeah, they're nitrate. Yeah, they're nitrate.
Wonder if there's something in those gloves that react with the
gel stain. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it turns out good.
There's an experiment, Peter.
If it doesn't, this sofa table will never be finished, because it'll be in the garbage. Because I need to move on. There's other things. In fact, I got a couple projects that have to be done by next Friday when I leave to go out of town. So we're gonna pull a couple long nights. And so that other story that you guys already know, I attempted to go fishing today, and ended up, let's just say, my day ran from yesterday into this morning. I had 3 hours of sleep. I didn't get off work until midnight last night, and I was up, leaving my house at 4 a.m. to go find a new fishing spot. Lack of judgment on mine and my friend's part, and we hammered into this huge mud hole, I guess you could say, probably about 30 or 40 miles an hour, and we got about 100 feet or 150 feet into it and just completely bogged down. And it took us about 9 hours to completely get it out. So I did a little fishing. I caught one little fish that was not even big enough to keep, and I got extremely red.
Still better than a day at work.
Yes, it is.
I don't know, man. That's probably a really close second.
But you know what? I had to get in touch with my redneck ingenuity, and it's been a while since I've had to do that.
Oh, I saw some of those redneck ingenuity pictures too. What was the stick that y'all tied to the rim? That's what I want to know. You never seen that? I've seen it once or twice. It kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, it's a 4x4, and And
that old RC car that had the claws that came out of the wheels.
That's exactly what it does. It's to help give you traction or to lift up the back end out of the mud or out of the hole you're in.
Did it work?
Yes, it did. Partially. Hang on.
At what point in the 9 hours was the claw?
It got us out of the first hole. It would not get us out of the second hole. So yes, we got stuck twice, but we had to get out of the mud pit. So we had to go back the way we came. It was inevitable.
So how did you end up getting out? What inevitably pulled you out?
I had a buddy come pull me out.
With what?
With a Dodge pickup.
The toe of shame.
But look, we're going to put it this way. It was an F-150 that got stuck. Drew, what do you own?
A clean F-150, not in a mud hole.
If I would have driven my Toyota Tundra, that thing would have just floated across the mud. The mud would have moved out of the way.
I dare you to take your Tundra to that mud hole.
No.
And just see
and
how
float it.
No.
Yeah. Be sure and take the claw with you.
Absolutely not. You'll never know. I'll take pictures. You'll never know if I have to get pulled out. So.
Oh man. Well, earlier today, I had put out some posts on social media, letting everyone know that we have the Epoxy King with us tonight, and wanted to see if there were any questions that our viewers and followers might have for you, Peter. So I've got a list of 5 questions, 2 of which are by the same person. But I'll go ahead and start with probably the gentleman that you're going to please the most, which is Paul Meyette. He's been a listener since day one, but he wanted me to do air quotes on this too, so I'm going to enunciate this. Do you do any traditional woodworking?
I know Paul. I like Paul. Paul's a good guy, Yankees fan. Even though he's a Yankees fan, still a good guy. So yes, I do and have done traditional woodworking,
and
with real wood and woodworking tools. Actually, I like to. If I consider myself anything, I consider myself a wood turner, and I think more. I think I have more woodworking videos on my channel than anything else, but those aren't the ones that usually captivate people. Usually people come back because I'm willing to do something absolutely idiotic with my with my shop that nobody else would do. You know, it's like a cringe fest. You kind of turn it on and go, what is he doing now? Why would he do that? So yeah, I do traditional woodworking. And it's fun and I like it, but it doesn't make me as happy as working with weird materials. So, yes, Paul, your day is coming soon.
When you say soon, hopefully the next video.
Yeah, you never know, though. I mean, I'm sure you guys are the same. You get out to the shop and you've got, something going, and then you just get pulled away. You're like, ooh, what's this do? And pretty soon, you've got a video about who knows what. So I'm not saying that can't happen. It totally could happen.
Raviolis and epoxy.
I'm adding that to the list.
Drew, I'm going to call you out for a second.
Alphabet soup and epoxy. There you go.
Hey, I'm going to call you out for a second there, Drew.
Huh.
Your shirt is the exact same one you were wearing last Thursday.
I wore it just for you, dude.
It's the recording shirt.
That's so sweet. I better see that every Thursday from here on out.
Oh, okay. Well, I better make sure it's clean.
Would it matter? I can't smell it.
That's true. That's not smell-o-vision here.
That's a good thing. I had like a really nasty burrito this lunch, so you guys are really happy that it's not smell-o-vision. My breath smells like a badger's armpit.
It's the Epoxy King and the badger's armpit.
You heard it here first.
Oh man, yeah, lucky. It's your lucky day.
All right, let's see. The next one we've got from Matt Diresta. Oh, a fancy, famous name, Diresta.
Isn't that cool? That's so cool. I mean,
it's like
I've
Cher.
got a question from Matt Diresta, and before I ever had a YouTube channel, I used to watch him play Rat Boy on Dirty Money. How cool is that? That's so cool.
That takes you back, Dirty Money.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was a great show. Dirty Money is the reason I've got a YouTube channel. So
Hear that, Matt?
I think that's fantastic. I was really sad to find out that Rat Boy was a producer's character. That's not actually Matt's personality, like at all. They told him what to do and how to be.
It's his alternate personality.
Exactly.
Well, his question to you is, when I die, can you epoxy me and turn me on a lathe into a coat rack?
Oh, fantastic. Let's do that. Let's do it. Put it in your will. It'll happen. I'm going to need a bigger lathe. I hope somebody's listening who wants to sponsor that.
Well, I would say you probably need a sponsorship of Epoxy, too.
We're going to need both. We got some time, though. Matt's not going to kick it anytime soon.
I can just see that will go into probate.
That'll be great, man. And he's got so many cool tattoos that we could really get a good look at him in the resin. That'll be a good casting.
I'm pretty sure FBI is going to be at your door pretty soon.
That's fine. They know the way.
They're a frequent visitor of your shop?
Yeah.
Hang your hat on Matt.
That would be so cool. Wrong, but cool.
Well, I mean, you should feel honored because he wants to live a legacy through you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to, mess up somebody's dying wish. I don't want to be the person that says no to that.
Oh,
just doesn't feel right at all.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
I'm not a monster.
Yeah,
I'll dip him in epoxy.
Not a monster at all. Dude, that would just be a really cruel way to freak out your guests. Matt, when you die, you need to make the scariest face you can make. That way we can just seal it.
What a fantastic question.
These are the types of questions you get when you come to Woodshop 101.
Dude, you should have heard the questions that Matt Cremona was asking about me.
I did. I listened to that one.
That was ridiculous, but it was funny.
He got paid back, though.
Yeah, he did.
It just so happened the day that we recorded with him, he cut his fro off.
Doesn't that just totally change his look?
Oh, yeah.
Just totally changes his look.
It makes him look more serious. Less like a little kid.
I just got his stickers, too, and I'm very disappointed it doesn't have the Fremona anymore.
I ordered my set. They should be here, I hope.
Well, let's see. We've got another one, and I have never verbally heard the pronunciation of his name here. It's now, Jeremy, I know you have.
Dyami Plotke.
Dyami?
Yeah, Dyami Plotke.
Okay. Oh, from Modern Woodworkers podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
He says, I see you heat your epoxy with a torch to eliminate bubbles. Would an electric heat gun work as well?
Yes. And yes, absolutely. It would totally work as well. But I don't like it for one main reason, which is the heat gun actually puts ripples in the resin, and sometimes that sloshes around inside the casting. So there's a plus side to it, which is with the heat gun, you're not going to light anything on fire, which is really, really nice. But I don't like the waves that it adds. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I'd rather do the propane torch. Also, from a strictly video standpoint, that firing up of the propane torch sounds so cool in video that it's like the one scene that I never edit out. I was like, ooh, where's that part where I go?
That's his go-to scene.
That always makes it in the video.
Compared to a...
Yeah. So, yeah, you absolutely can. Yes.
I will say that I have done that heat gun trick. I did an in-grain countertop a while back in one of my older videos, and I used it was like clear as glass epoxy resin. It's like one coat equals like 30 coats of polyurethane. Mm-hmm. And I used a heat gun to get the bubbles out of that. It takes a lot longer to get them out, but I did notice that ripple effect because of the air blowing through.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just something about it. It's like a lack of control. So,
well, Dyami, if you're married, which I'm pretty sure you are, go in there while your wife's not looking, get her blow dryer, and use that instead of an electric heat gun. It's free, and it works.
Oh, he's got all the tools. I'm sure he's got that electric heat gun.
And if you don't have any of that, what I use typically, it's on a smaller, very smaller project, is a regular lighter, like I don't know, what do you call them? The long, skinny lighters that
like the candle lighter.
Yeah, the little you got a little gun with a little trigger on it. Yeah. I use that on a lot smaller projects. So if you're gonna use something, you're gonna do a bigger project, that would take a long time, but it does work.
Like pen castings and whatnot.
Yeah. In fact, I just finished up a couple pizza pills. I don't know, a couple weeks back, maybe a little longer than that. And on one of them, I did a Texas State quarter inlay, and I epoxied on top of it. And I used the lighter for that, and because it's just so small, it was quick.
Nice. Yeah, no, there's no reason to go overboard. I mean, it's just fun. Other than that, there's no real good reason for the propane torch.
I mean, that's reason enough. It's
I guess
fun.
that's true. The other thing that I keep hearing that I want to try is I want to lower the blade in the table saw, put the casting on top of the table saw, and then turn the table saw on and see if the vibrations from that will sort of get out the bubbles. So I don't know. I've heard that that's a possibility too.
Yeah. In fact, I heard, and I think it was Mark Spagnuolo that said it, that he uses vibration to get air bubbles out.
Oh, if Mark's doing it, I don't want to do it then.
So but look, I'm pretty sure
I don't want to be too mainstream. I'm
pretty sure he's not doing it with his table saw, Phil. You have to have like an old contractor saw that just like vibrates across the floor
with like the big kink in the belt.
Yes,
that's been sitting there for years, not turned.
Exactly. Big old staples.
Pretty sure we can find one on Craigslist.
Yeah.
So
well, let's see. That was actually a really good question because I don't own a blowtorch and I didn't even think about the little lighter for smaller projects. So I hope he took some things away from that. That was cool. We got 2 from Bill Livolsi, and I hope I said that right. Livolsi.
So One Car Woodshop, is that who that is? Down in Nevada?
Facebook didn't have the name of his channel.
Maybe I'm giving the wrong guy credit.
He's like, hey!
Hey, thanks.
Let's see. He says, first question is, how did you decide to become the epoxy guy? And that's air quotes, too.
Okay. I didn't. I totally didn't. In fact, there was a point where I felt really bad that I had sort of gotten that label. So, I just started working with weird stuff because it was fun. And up until about 2 years ago, in my circle of friends, I was the walnut guy because I have walnut coming out my ears because of my local supplier here. So everything I made was walnut. But then I started doing videos on YouTube, and everybody's already working with wood, so I wanted to do something different. So I started working with weird stuff like colored pencils and doing lots of stuff with copper. And then, I bought some resin because my colored pencil ring didn't work. I couldn't duplicate it, so I bought some resin to make colored pencil rings, and I just started casting weird stuff. And I didn't search for advice for how to do things because I didn't want to know how to do it right. I just wanted to have fun and try whatever I wanted, and started, putting cotton balls in epoxy and wire in epoxy, and it's slowly just, I don't know, people liked it. So, and then the Dip It series just kind of happened. Somebody suggested I do it, and I said I'd try it. And I dipped some bacon in epoxy, and people were like, bacon in epoxy, and it's just kind of gone bonkers from there. So I didn't really pick it, but I guess I'll take the title. It's I like titles. I'll be the epoxy king.
What epoxy do you use? What's your go-to epoxy?
I use lots of different types. I started off with West Systems because that's what Jimmy Diresta used on his channel and in Dirty Money. And as I said, I'm a Jimmy Diresta fanboy. But it's just so expensive. It's like $70 for a quart, and it's too much. So I went and I found this other stuff called Easy Cast, and it is less expensive, but it's not as easy as the West Systems. So you have to mix it in, its own ratio, doesn't come with the pumps, and it's a little more finicky about the temperature in the shop and the temperature at which you're mixing them. So I have more failures with the Easy Cast, but it's less expensive. And when it does work, it's really, really nice. I get a really, really clear casting. So yeah, as soon as somebody starts giving me free epoxy, that's what I'm going to use. That'll be my new favorite.
Check out art resin.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I use art resin, and I like it.
They don't have casting resin, though.
No, they are actually creating a casting resin right now.
Yeah, I talked to them, and I told them I was interested, but they don't have casting resin. So when they come back, when they get some casting resin, maybe they'll talk to me about that again, because I'm more than up for it. I just want to make sure that I can actually cast things, because mostly I turn it on the lathe, so I need it to be hard.
Yeah, no, and I talk to them pretty frequently, because like I said, I use that. In fact, that's all I have in my shop now, is art resin, just for that pure fact of West Systems just is so expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that they said that's what they're in the process of making right now, is that casting resin.
Yeah, and their other thing is that they claim that it doesn't yellow over time, which is really, really nice. So if that's true, that's a real big boon for them. Oh.
So
well, Bill has a secondary question for you that I think a lot of people might benefit from, and they want to know how you keep your hair staying the same way. Is that epoxy?
Dip it. Yeah, so I got this hairstyle in 1995, and it hasn't changed since then. So
that's some good epoxy.
It's just cheap gel. I just use cheap gel. It's completely out of style, but I'm stuck with it now.
Dude, do you remember?
I don't do trendy. What was that?
Do you remember Dep?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I used.
Is it?
Oh, back when I had a flat top, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and like I have a big bottle of Dep in your gym bag.
I feel naked if I go out without gel in my hair.
Oh, I've gone to work without fixing my hair. That's embarrassing.
Me too.
Yeah.
You're bald.
Jeez. I like to say I have hair. It's just thinning.
I'm sorry, you're on with two great-looking hair guys.
I had great hair.
Drew and I have great hair,
Peter.
So I don't know what to say. It's not. I'm not trying to be rude.
Drew, wait till you have a second kid, then all your hair is going to fall out at once.
Oh.
My old man died with a full head of hair, so that's what I'm hoping for.
Yep, my dad's the same way. He's got a full head of hair, and his brother doesn't. That's the funny part.
My brother was bald at 18. My dad was bald at 25. My grandfather was bald, I don't know, early on in his life. I'm at least fighting the gene. I'm almost 30 and I'm not fully bald.
There you go, man. Living the dream. I wasn't saying
hair.
you were bald. I was just saying you kept your hair really short.
No, I'm definitely.
Now I feel bad. Remember how I told you guys earlier that sometimes I just say things out loud? So that was one of them. Now I'm going to feel bad about that all night.
I was about to say he backtracked. He's like,
I wasn't calling you bald. I was just meaning you kept your hair real close, real close cut.
I mean,
you're real clean shaven.
Real clean shaven, very neat.
Oh, sure. I mean, no, there's no hard feelings. I know I'm going bald, and at least I can wake up and walk out the door. I don't have to get the gel and.
That's true. I got to preen. There's lots of preening. My wife's waiting on me. Are we done yet?
Me, I get up, brush my teeth, and walk out the door. Don't got to worry about my hair.
At least you brush your teeth.
That's occasional. I think this month I'm doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think next month goes back to Tuesday, Thursday.
Well, there's no sense in overdoing something.
Exactly.
You don't want to go crazy.
Well, I mean, toothpaste is so expensive, and I figure if I only brush half the time, I can stretch that toothbrush from 3 months to 6 months.
Right, and then you get the free one every 6 months, right?
Yes.
And you even get to pick the color for free.
Yes. See, I got it down. It's a science. So, All right. Well, we
if
do.
you brush too much too, then you get bloody gums. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what my son told me, and I said I will be gentle the next time I brush your teeth. And literally, the next time I brushed his teeth, he had bloody gums. And then I blamed it on the fact that he didn't brush his teeth good enough. If he brushed his teeth better, he wouldn't get bloody gums.
It's the parent. You get to say whatever you want to, and it's the truth.
Exactly.
Love that.
So, all right. Well, we have a voicemail from a listener, and it's more of a kickback voicemail. I would tell you his name, but we'll just call him Woodworker with no name, or the Alabama Woodworker, because he didn't give us a name. So, let's listen to it.
Hi, guys. I'm a woodworker here in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm always looking for cheap alternatives to things being done in the shop. What's sort of interesting is a couple of weeks ago, you guys talked about rulers versus tape measures, and one of you guys said that you were planning on getting one of Starrett's combination squares, mentioning that it was like something like $60 to $80 or something. Anyway, there's this really awesome company called Taylor Tools, and it's www.taytools.com. And basically, I was able to snag a couple of double squares, a 4-inch and a 6-inch. Both were less than $20 a piece, and they're accurate within a thousandth of an inch over a 6-inch length. And the great thing is that they're just factory seconds. In other words, there was some cosmetic flaw to them, in which case Taylor Tools gets a hold of them and sells them at like a third or a quarter of the price. Anyway, I thought you might benefit from that. Thanks. Bye.
So, Woodworker
Like
with
the voicemails.
Yeah, so Woodworker with no name, or Alabama Woodworker. No, we definitely appreciate the voicemail. We love when we get voicemails. We like hearing from our listeners. I went over to the Taylor Tools website, and being that it's a factory or like a secondhand blemished or factory blemished, I don't think that they always carry the same things. Because when I went over there, they had no squares. They had some secondhand or factory blemished Narex chisels and some of the other Narex things. So I think it might be a hit and miss. I'm not sure. I haven't followed it very much to see if the same things are on there. But I do know when I got on there just a few minutes ago, there was no squares. There wasn't even any companies that they offer squares from. So if you're looking for some chisels, though, Narex chisels is on there.
So he kind of like refurbishes, or what was the?
They're like blemished, like factory blemished. So they may have a scratch in the clear coat, or they may have. Yeah, there you go. And so I guess they send them to him, or he buys them off of them, and then he sells them. I don't know, but that's the type of website it is. It's like a factory blemished website.
Yeah, and it does look like that his inventory does run out from time to time, because under his rasps header, there's nothing there.
Yeah. So I do know I'm probably going to pick up the brass mallet that they have on there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Under the Narex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably going to pick up one of those.
Not a bad price for that, too. 500 grams. That's for the handle? Yeah.
I don't know. What's 500 grams?
Yeah. Heavy. No. Yeah, because I'm an expert in grammage.
It's 500 paper clips. That's all I know.
Well, there you go.
About a paper clip.
Because a paper clip, yeah, there you go.
There you go. It's a paper clip. 500 paper clips.
There you go.
No, that's yeah. So I think it would be a good website to follow, but it's not gonna probably be my go-to thing. Just because I'm not gonna wait around 6 or 8 months for something when I could have just forked out some of the extra money and gotten that tool 6 or 8 months ago and been using it.
Can I have some of your extra money? Must say I don't have any extra money.
My extra money, it comes from the Monopoly box in the closet.
Not the cookie jar.
No. Why would you keep Monopoly money in the cookie jar?
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, not at all.
Why would you keep that?
No idea.
Well, we also had some other kickback, not in the form of a voicemail, but we did have a message. I think this might have been on YouTube. But
No,
it
this was an email.
Was it email? Okay.
Yeah, it was an email.
Came from Stephen Gossett, and he said he saw a video on YouTube and thought it went along with our last podcast, which had to do with the rulers and tape measures.
So that was not our last podcast. That was like 2 or 3 ago.
Yeah, but we just now got around to putting this on. So, hey, you don't have to be so technical. But this video actually went over 4 really cool tips for tape measures. Some of the people that are really involved with tape measures and have used them a long time really know what these 4 tips and tricks are. But for people that are new to using them, it's a really cool way to take some of the guesswork out of how to use one. And we've got a link that we'll put down into the show notes that will show you that video. It's only about roughly about 3 minutes or so.
3 or 4 minutes, something like that.
And they give you some really cool tips. And I believe the person that is doing the video actually has quite a following herself. I don't have the YouTube video up right now, but it's around 72,000 subscribers. So might be somebody worth checking out for other videos as well.
All right. Well, let's talk product recommendations. Peter, what's something you want to recommend? Maybe one of your go-to tools or a book. I don't know. Anything you want to recommend?
It's hilarious because we were just talking about how I don't like to use it. I'm going to recommend a heat gun.
So what do you use it for?
Exactly. So I don't use it for popping bubbles, but you can if you want to. But having a heat gun in the shop is just one of those things you need, and you don't even know that you need it. So it's a staple that you didn't even know you needed.
Is that how you dry the epoxy for your hair?
Yeah, I have absolutely dried my hair with a heat gun before, and I would not recommend it. Lots of split ends, really bad idea. Very bad
and
idea.
Burning.
No, but it's great for softening. Like if you're going to on the lathe, if you want to mount something on the lathe quickly and get good hold, you use hot glue. And hot glue has incredible holding power for turning things on the lathe. But getting it off is a pain without a heat gun. But you hit it with a heat gun for a couple minutes, hot glue will soften right up and you can just pry it off. So I've even used it to heat up my coffee before when I'm in a pinch. In a couple seconds, heat up your coffee. So
that's the way to go.
It's good for that.
That's a man after my own heart right there.
Yeah, use it for melting HDPE, use it for melting PVC. So it's good for plastics. You can desolder with it if you need to do that in your shop. So lots of good uses.
Did we mention, because I zoned out for just a second.
Oh my gosh, Peter, what were you droning on about?
Yeah, like, oh, wait, let me wake up. No, did you mention stuff about edge banding too?
I've never done any edge banding. Can you do that with a heat gun?
I've used a heat gun on it in a pinch. It's more of a kind of an indirect heat because it's not really applied with pressure to the surface, but it does a good job of reactivating the glue if you have to move it around if it wasn't quite where you wanted it.
See, it's the universal tool. It's the Ronco Popeil tool. Yeah. It's used for everything.
I mean, it's definitely not the go-to way to do the edge banding, but it will heat up the glue to melt it, and then you can take a roller or a flat block or something and apply the pressure that way to get the glue to adhere to the plywood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're going to edge band like hardwoods. I've never done that, but I guess you could.
That's like keeping Monopoly money in the cookie jar.
That doesn't make any sense. I got to cover up this nasty walnut edge. Give me some of that laminate.
Give me some of that pine laminate right there.
Better yet, MDF veneer. There you go.
Get the curly MDF. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, that's
quilted MDF.
It's expensive. It's fancy.
Well, my product recommendation, and it's kind of funny because I touched on it too, just like Peter did, but it's an HVLP spray gun system, because my video that I'm fixing to touch on this week, which I've had to take my time on because the cold snaps that we've been having really sucks for painting with a spray gun.
Hey, it's been 80 degrees down here.
Oh, shut up. In any case, my gun that I've been using, I actually acquired from a big box store, and that was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's finally given up the ghost. It's not really staying primed anymore, and it spits real bad, so I'm not really enjoying the results that I'm getting from it. But the HVLP sprayer that I recommended was through Rockler, because that's probably the next one that I'll get for my latex enamel spraying.
All right. And hopefully we'll have that video soon, because I want to watch it before I go spray my dining room table.
You gonna spray it with paint?
Yeah, I'm doing a painted bottom. That's what the wife wanted, and so we're gonna. I don't know what color, how, but I really don't want to brush it.
Antique.
And then sand it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we've got a beautiful oak table. My wife wants to do the same thing. You should take this out and paint it antique. Like, it's oak. Why would you do that?
Yeah, like I that was in the planning stages. Like, I knew from the beginning that's what she wanted to do, and so I went with just some like southern yellow pine and some soft maple, because I knew from the get-go she wanted to paint it, and there was no stopping her from wanting it. So she just hasn't got it yet. A year and a half later, it's still sitting in the shop. So
maybe if you covered the edge banding or edges with banding, that'd work out better.
Oh, maybe. That I'm gonna try that. All right. So what I'm going to recommend, and this has made my life so much more enjoyable while I'm in the shop. I replaced the 4-foot fluorescent T12 40-watt yellow lights that I had in there with a nice big 8-foot tandem fluorescent strip light with 6500K bulbs, and man, does it brighten that place up. And I only have one because I am only renting the house I'm in right now. I didn't want to invest more into running extra wire for another bank of lights. And just that one set of 8 runs across the shop, more towards the front, but it really lights it up just so I can get some work done. And then, to shoot video, I'll still need to use some more lights to kind of light up, my body and the project, but that provides a good backlight and good drop light for it. So
I did something like that in my shop not too long ago, and I added 6 8-foot banks, and they're actually the tandem 4-foot on either side, and it's like I think it's 8 bulbs per unit, and I've got 6 of those, and they're all daylight bulbs, and it's just like walking out into the sun. It's so bright.
I mean, they say so 5,000K is good for your average woodworker. That's 5,000Ks. That's good. That's a good bright light. 6,500K is just better for video shooting because it's more crisp white versus a blue tint white.
More yellow actually. I have 56 in mine. So
56 bulbs.
5,600 bulbs, yes.
Wow.
The entire thing is just all bulbs.
Wow.
You can just see the electric meter like grizzle.
No wonder it's so bright
56,000, whatever it is.
Kelvins,
yeah, the temperature.
Yeah, Kelvins. Yeah, that's sure. We'll call it Kelvins. I'm pretty sure that's it.
I'm not positive, but I'll go with you. I defer to Jeremy.
You have 50. You have 5,600 Kelvin.
Yes, I have 10 5,600 Kelvin bulbs.
So you have the opposite. We have 6,500.
I have the step down. Whatever that, it's just like you have 2 bulb settings in daylight, and I have the one that's more yellow. That's less daylighty. I like the warmer tone for my video.
Yeah.
So,
but it is definitely,
huge improvement.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just so much that, like, when I still go in there and I turn on the shop light and I'm like, oh, dang, that's a whole lot brighter than what I remember.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had started shooting video so much earlier, because then at least I would have gotten a shop upgrade for the lighting. Need it. You need good lighting in your shop, even if you're not shooting video. It makes life so much better.
Well, it helps you see flaws in the projects and stuff like that, so you're not waiting until you put a finish on it and then seeing that flaw. It helps you with everything. It helps you cut your joinery better or turn your epoxy better. Make sure those bubbles are popping out.
It does. You're right.
One thing it does is it tricks your mind to thinking that it's still daylight outside.
Yes, it does.
It could be 2 a.m. like, woodworkers like me that work at night, and it's like 2 a.m. and you're like, oh, I'm not
Neighbors
even
are banging on the walls. Turn off your planer. What? It's like noon.
Yeah. What are you talking about? So, all right. Well, if you guys would like to support the show, you can head over to www.woodshop101podcast.com/listen. And then you can find the show notes for today's episode or any episode, because the links are the same. There will be links down in the show notes for small one-time donations. I think there's going to be a $1, a $5, and then a custom amount if you want to donate the 20 cents in your cookie jar. You could do that. And I would like to remind you, if you listen to the show on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating, because it helps us reach a greater audience. Just like Dean's Woodworking, he said, great job. Thanks for making my drives in Houston a little more bearable. And I know what he means, because he lives maybe 10 minutes from me. I live in Friendswood. He lives 2 towns south in League City. And in fact, we're going to meet up this weekend at the woodworking show in Houston. It's actually in Pasadena, but it's the Houston show. So I look forward to meeting him and maybe grab a small interview or something with him for the podcast.
That'd be cool.
And if you guys didn't know, or if you didn't bother going to read my article, I am moving to Charleston, South Carolina this summer. So if you're in that area, then definitely look me up, hit me up, and I'd like to get together and maybe visit each other's shops. I'm hoping that area is a better location to get more into the woodworking community, because where I'm at now, there's not a whole lot of shows coming down here. There's not a whole lot of content creators down here. I mean, if you don't work in the oil or gas industry, you pretty much don't want to be in the Houston area. So,
well, you're just going to live even further away from me and in a different time zone, so we'll have to work that out.
Yeah. But
the real important question is, how do you feel about giving up Texas barbecue? Are you okay with trading that for...
Well, let's just put it this way. I am Texan, so I will not be giving it up. I will just keep making my own. I will convert South Carolina to Texas barbecue.
Yeah, you good luck with that.
Yeah, no, with their honey mustard base stuff. They need help.
Well,
I think we've just offended like 100 people.
It's okay.
We'll just keep that on the down low.
We love you. We love you, just not your barbecue.
Well, for those of you also that don't know, we actually have a giveaway going on too that we just want to make mention, because the deadline for that is coming up very, very quickly. It's actually going to be on the leap year of February 29th at 11:59, and there's quite a bit of ways that you can enter. You can go to countrysideworkshop.com and go to the blog section /announcements area and find all the information about the giveaway. And I think there's about 17 ways you can enter? Is that correct?
There's 17 ways, but it's a total of 21 entries. One of them gives you 5 entries.
And the more specific one that we would like our viewers to focus on is a survey. It's a really quick one that basically gives us a little bit more feedback about the direction we're taking this show, whether or not there are some things that we could do to improve the show, things we just need to leave the same, things like that will help us decide where to take it in the future. And that's another way to enter. So if you guys can head over to countrysideworkshop.com and check out that announcement, we would appreciate the support. Peter, since you are our special guest, and by the way, we have enjoyed your time with us. This has been a barrel of laughs, I must say.
I can't believe it's already been an hour.
Yeah, it kind of flies. Where can our viewers reach you? How can they get in contact with you?
I've got a website. It is shop-time.net. I am also on YouTube at Shoptime. I have no idea what the URL is, but if you type in epoxy or dip it, you will find me. And I have contact information in there. You can shoot me an email if you leave me a message on Facebook, leave a message on my website. I'm pretty good at responding when I can.
And we had somebody mention that you need to change your sign on to Epoxy King.
It's probably better than what I've got. I didn't know that when I got my name, it's actually Shoptime is the name of the largest Brazilian retailer in Latin America. So I regularly get an email in Portuguese saying, my package didn't arrive. When is it coming? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with me. So sorry.
Wrong person.
I think it was on your Instagram picture right before you started recording. It was like 5x30 Woodworking. Said you should change your IG name to Peter Epoxy King.
That is a fantastic idea.
Okay. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you can reach me at through my website. You'll find all of my contact information, which is rhwoodshop.com. Go to my contact us area. You'll find my email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram and Facebook, so there are numerous ways you can get in contact with me. Jeremy, what about you, man?
You could find me at countrysideworkshop.com. You can find me either at Jeremy Crawford or at Countryside Workshop on Facebook. Don't find me on Twitter because I barely check that. I am better about actually posting on it, but I don't check it very often.
I think it's common knowledge now.
Yeah, it is. But I'm getting better. I want you to know I'm working on it. But yeah, pretty much Facebook is going to be my most active. Of course, email, if you want to send me an email, that's jeremy@countrysideworkshop.com, and I'll try to respond to those emails at the end of every day, depending on how many I get. But I try to get to those just so they don't stack up, and at the end of the week I have 20 or 30 or 40 emails to respond to.
All right. Well, you can also reach the Woodshop 101 team, which is Jeremy and myself, through Woodshop 101 podcast at gmail.com. Is that feedback coming from me?
Yes, I'm guessing.
Weird. Anyway, you can reach us at woodshop101podcast at gmail.com. You can also go to the website, which is woodshop101podcast.com/listen. There you'll also find all of the available downloadable information for all of our episodes that we have. You can watch those on any device. And if you want to leave us a voicemail like you heard earlier in our broadcast, you can call from any device at the area code of 409-234-3959. And just leave us a voicemail. We'll play that on the air. And if you have a question, we'll be glad to answer that for you on the air. So from Jeremy, myself, and our special guest, Peter Brown, the Epoxy King of California.
not Brazil.
It's getting longer all the time.
It's getting longer, yeah. We would like to wish you guys well, and just to be safe in your shops. And also just think outside the box and try and experiment with something you've never worked with. And Peter can attest to that. It does get fun.
It does. Thank you very much for having me. It was really fun.
You're very welcome. And we'll give everybody a good sign-off. For those of you that don't know, we give everybody a good boom at the very end of our episode. So, Peter, feel free to give us a good boom on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Boom!